Good morning. At least here in Germany, it's good morning. Thank you for being here with us today. I'm Alexandra. I'm marketing manager at MH Service, and maybe some of you might know me already from exhibitions or other events. I would like to give you an introduction now of our subject of today, which is how we can help and support you with your IT forensic investigations so you are able to solve your cases faster. And yeah, as you can probably guess seeing this page, this is a joint webinar of our team, but I will let introduce each of my colleagues by himself later. And a little bit of organizing things. If you have any questions, we are of course happy to answer them. For that, please just write them in the chat, and we will send you the collections of answers later in a separate email. Yeah, first I would like to give you a short introduction about us. As most of you know us already, I'll go over this really quickly. So today, with more than 25 years of experience, we are one of the leading providers of our own hardware products, of software and services related to IT, to mobile phone and audiovisual forensics. And these services are our topic of today. For example, this is data recovery, also for damaged devices, different forms of analysis, and also the specific fields of criminal investigation projects. Here you see our new headquarters in Southwest Germany, where we moved to in 2016. And here we have our production area, our vehicle department production, our offices, and our fully equipped training center. And also, as most of you know, we also have subsidiaries in Dubai for the GCC region, and soon one in Singapore and Kuala Lumpur for Asia. Well, regarding our support and the services we can do for you, we can conduct our acquisition and the analysis either here on site or at your place. This is completely flexible. This is just a small abstract of our customer base, which is mostly governments from all over the world, but also corporate institutions. Our portfolio includes everything you need for IT forensics. We provide you with a full range of high-end storage, analysis, and network solutions. Basically, it's everything from accessories through mobile field units, through dedicated workstations and servers, up to complete and fully independent mobile laboratories in a van or in a truck, and also individual training. All this is made in Germany, and all our devices undergo a stress test before the delivery. This is because we know about the lasting value of our products. We give you full 3 years of warranty for each of our products. Yeah, well, that's already it from my side, and I will hand over now to my colleague Johannes. He will tell you a bit more about the expertise which we can offer for you.
Thank you, Alexandra. My name is Johannes Seitz. I'm working for MH Service for more than 10 years now, and I'm project manager and consultant for IT forensic services, and specialized and certified in different investigation tools, and as well trainer for software if customers doing investigations on their behalf. Together with Dimitri, our CTO, he's expert for Linux investigations, for Linux forensics, and specialized as well in data recovery for damaged disks and damaged flash drives. We're the key contacts for IT forensic services and as well with Paul, but Paul will introduce himself. I'll hand over to Paul.
Thanks, Johannes. Hello, everybody. My name is Paul Jacobs, and following now is a brief introduction about my person. My knowledge about computer forensics started in 2006 after my first degree in business informatics and studying on the job as detective inspector at the criminal investigation department in the city-state called Bremen. It's for you geographically speaking in the northern of Germany, quite 100 kilometers southern of Hamburg. And earlier, Then the main job at the police, I started my part-time job as independent consultant to advise companies of all size on all issues about security. It was the time that the first malware programs are coming into the companies, and they wanted to defend against that. And after 13 years leading a police IT forensic team of 15 colleagues, and at least in a position as detective chief inspector, I ended my career in 2017 on my own accord to start full-time as independent consultant and lecturer too on the university in Bremen for bachelor and master students with special focus on digital forensics, cybercrime investigations, IT security at all, and a new field was upcoming and very interesting for a technically interested police officer. It's called car forensics. So yes, the next slide. What kind of analysis on different types of evidence do we offer for you? Let me quick explain. Virtual forensics means that we can extract different types of virtual machines out of seized servers running in a data center, for example, environment, and analyzing the metadata or virtual storages, and of course the file structure, because virtual servers are a common techniques to small down the physically hardware. Post-mortem analysis means that we are able to get data out of computer system that switch turned off before. So for your example, it's a dead computer system. We meet at the crime scene and we secured it in a way in images. So we process the images after that in a laboratory circumstances. Virtual post-mortem analysis means that we are also able to get a dead image, restart and live again. So we are able to get in a live system more information than from a dev system. So we are restarting it in a virtual and secured infrastructure, and we can get very relevant information about some running services or database functions like SQL or stuff like that. Live response. Live response is also a standard technique and means that we are working directly on a powered on system. So when you're calling us, we are going to this running system and we are looking for some suspicious recordings maybe or functions that are running in that time we are looking on it. So we are performing actions and saving it where it can bring us some information we don't get when the system is switched off. Malware forensics is typically divided in two types, static and dynamic. Static means that we are using fixed databases to compare and detect infected files. And the dynamic one analysis is that one that takes place in a secured virtual environment. So we are able to record suspicious actions like which ports and the malware was using, or is this malware sleeping and when it's awakening, and what does the malware is doing when it's awake, and it's also recording keyboard actions and so on. Vulnerability means that we are able to get some security analysis for you. We are checking the ports, the software, and also firewalls settings so we can get a picture how the attacker may get able to get into your system. Mass data analysis, also known as e-discovery, means that we are able to find hidden or unique, high important informations under billions of files. So like the famous needle in the haystack. And the last and least, mobile phone forensic means it's also a classic field that we are able to save and analyze all data of mobile devices, which are logical or maybe physical secured, and that we're able to save it in this way to get informations out of it. So here's an overview where we successfully practiced our techniques on the following investigations. Investigations in economic crime are complex and need a careful strategic and operative preparation. This e-discovery technique is a prime example to get quick and only relevant information out of huge amount of safe data storages. Crimes against the state or investigations on terrorism activities, presupposing solutions also in e-discovery, but also high-end hard and software to analyze all kind of pictures and video files, to export, for example, biometric informations like faces or skin tones that are needed for further investigations. Cybercrime investigations assume the ability to perform malware forensic techniques, because it's often the case that the attacker used malware, maybe known as zero-day exploits, or they are using unknown tools. So they want to primarily communicate and transfer confidential data, your company data, in stealth mode out of the company, and they are using encrypted communication channels, for example. Trafficking in human beings is like economic crime and a subdirectory of organized crime. So many players on different places, and the special feature here is to analyze with mobile phone forensic tools and e-discovery tools also. Because the suspects are producing a huge amount of data, like informations in pictures and texts, and they want to share them very fast and very quick, and also secure, of course, and they need therefore quick and light handling hardware. Industry espionage is one of the complex investigations field too. It's presuppose proper expertise in malware techniques, network functions, and server services to cover up a possible attack like APT, as you heard it. APT stands for Advanced Persistent Threat, and this is a special and the most dangerous form of attacking a company, because the insider, a natural person, is collecting informations of a special IT system. So, and this is only possible when the attacker becomes an insider over months or years, as a typical employee, for example. So this was a short overview over the forms of the attacks, and thank you very much for listening. And now I take over to Martin.
Hello, this is Martin speaking. I'm the founder and owner and CEO from the MH service. And it's my pleasure today to make the holiday replacement for Dimitri to tell you something over our services in data recovery and field, what it's a step on the side by the forensic investigation, but an important field as well. The data recovery services, what we can offer for your investigation, came in two separate steps. So one of them is the logical data recovery. This means password recovery from files, from hard drives as well, and cell phone data recovery, and as well an email recovery from proprietary database like nodes, Lotus Notes, or Exchange, or very UNIX format. And yeah, what is the step on the side? It's the data recovery from our physical media, like very old medias, tapes, zip drives, very old hard drives, like the PTA hard drives from 1996, and much more what we can find on site, we can repair and recover. Yes, as well, data recovery, it's possible to change the demarched read-write heads from the hard drive. And also it's possible for us to recover broken or burning devices per chip off some data from them. And a very tricky field, it's a special help with RAID systems. This means missing array member or demarched controller. We can fix this issue and bring data back. And for sure, at least we can delete data very securely in the end of all the steps for you and permanently. Yeah, okay. On this moment, we go to the use cases. The use case, what I has the responsibility. Long time before, I was project manager in this investigation. This was, we support legal dispute between German and American movie manufacturer. And the very interesting part of this, I would say the most interesting part for me as technical leader in this project, was to bring the data back from more than 580 different data sources, and the claims all on different type of data sources like zip drive, broken tapes, very tricky, hard drives, very old hard drives, CDs a lot, and in very different kind and forms from backup software. And the most interesting field was the recovery of the destroyed tapes. And as least, and very interesting part also, was the deduplication in this case, because all these 580 data sources came from the backup software over years, and the deduplication was complicated because the verification can be not go proper over the hash sum. If you take it from destroyed tapes, then you get different hash or only partwise some information from this data. And this means we have to program an IE content verification, and we bundle this with the soft hash word verification to reduce the deduplication so much that we get from more than 280 copies from the same file with different hash words, really only the one important. Yeah, then we process this in the database and an e-discovery tool. This was a standard procedure, or is the standard procedure, and the cooperation with national and international lawyers, and this, let me say, translation from the technical world to the lawyer's world was our part. And at least the classification, the reading and hiding of about the private rules that we provide later on, the emails, documentation, all this without any private communication, and we mark the business content on this file. And after years, we hands over the final expert report of the complete cases. It was very interesting what I say, in fact, from the deduplication side and from the recover side from burning tapes. It was an amazing, interesting case for me. Yes, and now I have the pleasure to hand over to Johannes. He will tell more over his projects. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Martin. So this is Johannes speaking. I'll show you another use case we've done in the past where I've been the project manager, where one of our customers contacted us in investigative but as well as security reason. The customer feared that his competition have spied their data by malware and as well manipulated their communication channels. Therefore, we made quad-proof copies of the relevant systems, from the workstations to servers and as well the mobile phones, to check if they are infected, harmed, or received any bad influence from the outside. We checked all the protocols on the systems, we checked the running processes, and looked for unknown applications to see if there's anything unwanted operating on their systems. We as well compared the communications of the different systems against each others to check if there are any independent infections of some systems. For all the different parts, we used different tools and recorded each step for the chain of custody, which is as well important later for court case. Finally, we generated a report for the customer and as well proposed a system for intrusion detection to save themselves and to prevent such situations. In another use case, one of our customers, a big corporate company, contacted us. They needed to provide some historic data, some information from the past, from different years for a running investigation. The required information was stored on a tape library. The customer wanted to have information restored from this tape library into a NUS system and copied the historic files into a court-proof format. As a special condition, the customer wanted to have a reproduction of an outdated NES, which was a small challenge to find the old parts, but we done it. And the system, on this system, we shall put the results information of the copy. As well, they needed to have a verification of all the files which were stored on the system, what we delivered with a hash verify. After the whole process, we assisted the customer as well to go ahead with the selection of specific files with DIT applications and how to train their staff that they can pick and provide the required data of the investigation case to the demanding party. So you've done a lot of cases in the past and we're looking forward for future cases. So I'll hand over to Alexandra now.
Thank you, Johannes. So this is me again. These were only some examples, but as this webinar is about your specific cases and because the conditions of each case are different, I will show you now the different phases of our standard workflow of a corporation. That means actually a general way how you can approach us if you need support with your projects. But first, I would like to mention that these steps can, of course, always be adapted to your specific case and to your requirements. The most important thing for each project is that everything will be transparent from our side at all times. You are always the one who is in control of the complete process and also of the individual steps. In practice, that means that there will be a release from your side after each step. And that also means that in the beginning, we don't, let's say, attack the complete pile of the complete case, but you can always release little blocks, also time and money-wise. So to say, you could say stop at any time during the project if you don't need any help anymore. Now, regarding the individual steps, you can see them already on the slide. These are always released in little blocks, as I said already, in order to be able to make all kinds of adaptations later. And yeah, first, this is a general analysis and identification of the project goals, the individual task packages, the determination of the project scope. Then there's a definition of the time frame, the budget frame, and the resources, again, always released in little blocks. And then we define an approximate timing schedule and the most important milestones. And the next step would be the identification of the data which is relevant for the project. And with that, we create a concept with an approximate timeline. And if you or we together see during the project that there are other relevant data, this can always be adapted in the next steps. Yeah, and the final step is setting and implementing a predefined workflow with which we work. As I mentioned, we are really keen to keep everything transparent and flexible at all times, so it serves you in the best way possible. Yeah, well, and now it's finally Stefan's turn, who would also like to connect with you. I hand over to him now.
Hey all, this is Stefan, the International Sales Director from MH Service. So this were a short introduction about our IT forensic services and some examples. For more details, we will be happy to support you. So we are providing everything you need for IT, mobile phone, cyber and network forensic, as well malware analysis, from accessories to a full equipped laboratory and as well trainings. This all for signal cases, big data analysis, password cracking, repair and recovery from damaged devices, and more. Throughout our global offices, we have a team of experts trained in hardware manufacture, hard and software sales, consulting, technical support, and trainings. So please do not hesitate to contact us for an individual IT forensic service proposals based on your needs. So thank you to all for joining this webinar. Are there any questions pending from the chat? So Johannes?
No, not so far.
No, okay. So if you have any further questions concerning our services, we will be happy if you contact us. So stay safe, and we are looking forward to see you soon again.